So what I have here is an Ogden Smith bamboo, built 1907. Just think of that, it went through World War I, World War II. There's the cast. It doesn't do a person that's learning how to do this any good to show you big long casts and how great one can cast. Because trying to describe some of the techniques is like trying to describe the taste of peanut butter. Might be a poor analogy, but think about that. How do I tell you the feel? If you can just keep this in mind when you cast, it's just smooth. Just be smooth. Don't pull a lot of line out. Whatever you do, don't pull a lot of line out. Always start down here, come around, stir that pot, pull the bottom hand, and there's the cast. That's what you want to practice when you first start this. But right now, we're going to talk about a Scandi line and Scandi casting. So there's a phrase in this kind of casting called underhanded casting. That means the bottom hand is a dominant casting tool right there. I'm not going to say it's easy to learn because I struggle with it yet to this day, and I've been doing this for 18 years. What you don't want to do when you first get this outfit, because you see these videos and you see these guys make these long casts, and the first thing you're going to do is rip a whole bunch of line off, thinking you're going to do that, and you're not going to do it, because the first thing you're going to resort to is you're going to go, and it's not going to go anywhere, no matter how hard you do it. So what we're trying to explain here is, if you just come around smooth and soft, the line just goes out. There's no back cast. It's all about a D-loop. It's about getting an anchor out here, and getting a piece of line to come around in the back here into a D-loop. I'll try to form a D-loop for you so you see what I mean. So you're going to come up underneath here, over the top. So how you make these casts is the line is traveling underneath the rod tip. Not unlike a typical roll cast you do with a single-handed rod. That's all it is. That's all Spey is a roll cast. To initiate that cast, you're going to come underneath, over the top, and make the cast. It's really quite simple. Much more easy to learn than single-handed casting, where you're trying to get a nice fluid cast. This here, you do very little effort. Little effort, right there. So when you're practicing this, get your overhang first. Oh, way too much overhang. Overhang. The amount of shooting line you have behind or off the tip of the rod. Maybe you want to start out with very little overhang. Right about there is where I like it, about 15 inches, somewhere in there. So I'm just going to do the basic lift. Tip to the water, always. Up smooth. Anchor and make the cast. I'm going to talk about anchor. So we want to set an anchor approximately a rod and a half away. You'll see that fly lander somewhere right in here. To be honest with you, I found out I can be a lot farther than that and still make the cast. Like that, right there. Blew it. Blew the anchor, went way back here. I come up too fast, too hard. I was getting my hands up too high. I was getting way up here, so I'm throwing my anchor way behind me. So if I keep my hands down low, I can get a lower anchor, get my anchor to set up better. There. See, I didn't lift my arms up that high that time. So stay way down here. So it's up smooth. Anchor, cast, and go. I'm either too soft. There's what I wanted. I'm gonna put that anchor right alongside of me this time. I want that sliding anchor coming at me. That fly is sliding right at me here. So what you want is a nice smooth lift. Come around, anchor. There's the cast. There, perfect. The hardest thing to learn is how to set that anchor. Just relax. Nice smooth lift. And you want to stop that rod right up there. That tightens that loop up. Nice and relaxed. Nice lift. And bad cast. Hang on. When you're not recording, I can cast. Okay, here we go. There. Just like, you know, it's almost like magic when you just really don't do anything. It just wants to keep going. It doesn't even seem possible. Let me get out here. Here we go. I didn't, see, now I know what I did there. So this time we won't do that. What I did is I went straight back. I cut the corner. Cutting the corner means you come straight back like that. That's cutting the corner. This is not cutting the corner. And that's the results you get. So when you cut the corner, watch the line fall behind me. Cut the corner, see the line fall? See, it's not going to go nowhere. But when you come around like this, it's going to go. Up smooth. Watch your rotation. Stick that bottom hand out. Don't be afraid to pull it out. That bottom hand is the driving force.
Okay, I am recording.
Yeah, I just made the perfect cast and you weren't filming. So I'm just going to come around with my shoulders here a little bit, kiss that water, and make that cast. So here we go. Nice smooth lift. Just come around a little bit with the shoulders. Top hand. Boy, it's hard to break that top hand. That's the hardest thing to overcome is to not want to cast with your top hand. First of all, you're going to come up and you're going to rotate that rod. Keep that elbow inside. Just be comfortable. Around and over the top. There it is. That's the key to this kind of casting, right there. That's how you get that cast. There it is. Keep this in here like this. I understand now, Rich. I got it. Watch this. Whew. Boy, that thing is moving.
Okay, so what did you do differently?
Because before what I was doing, I was coming around like this. Well, look at where the trajectory of the line is. But I got to make sure that when I cast, I'm going to lay the line on this way, that my line goes that way. So, see? Now it's going the right way. There we go. Okay, ready. Roll them. So, coming up, smooth, rotate, hiss, and go. Now we got her together. A little difficulty there for a while. You know, trying to learn that bottom hand is not, it's not what the book says. So you got to really pay attention when you're casting. But boy, when you can get that bottom hand working for you, it's the difference between a Ferrari and a 1940 Ford. Up smooth. So we're going to come up with this rod and look at how it's rotating. It's that circular motion that brings that rod tip up. Stick that bottom hand out, very light in the hand. Pull the bottom hand, and there's the cast. And if you can get it like his here, that's when you're going to get your best cast. But I can't emphasize enough when you first start. Don't try to go hard, don't cast hard, because what you're going to do, because you're so top hand dominated, you're going to want to push that top hand. But we have to stop that rod there to get flight. That's where we got to get our flight. Because here's what happens. If I come forward and I push the rod flat, that rod tip deflect and it's driving that line down like that. But when I stop here, the line is flying in that trajectory, and that's where I'm going to get my flight. That's why you stop there. I'll stop there now and show you. See? Flight. And go. Every time you hear that little, that's what we're looking for. That accelerated that top loop and made that fly turn over. So the main thing is to stay nice and relaxed. Going to put the handle out here like this so that when I come around, I'm in position to fire. Like that. The problem is if you come straight up like this and try to turn that rod around, you're only going to be this much pull. My point is this. Stir it here, a lot of pull, there's the cast. So when we talk bottom hand with that double-handed rod, it's the same as a haul with the single-handed rod. Haul. The only thing is when you do that haul, don't rip it, just pull it smooth. Just nice and smooth. It's just I'm going to lay it back here and just show you the pull. It's just a nice smooth pull. Whoa, like that. And I let it go back here. You know, in my opinion, as I teach single-handed casting, when I teach people how to double haul, my haul starts when I hit my leg. That's when my haul starts. So it's this long. It's not this long. If you do it this way, nothing's going to happen. Everything's going to fall apart. Do not rip it forward. You're staying with the motion of the rod. Watch. So we're coming down smooth with the rod. The rod hand is coming forward. Everything's coming forward. Everything's coming forward. Right at the end is when you hit it. So it's about 8 inches. This is the absolute essence of this cast right here. So if I push with my top hand, what I'm getting is just a tip loading. But when I pull with the bottom hand, I get the whole rod. I get the butt of the rod pulling. That's where the energy, that's where the power, if you want to call it that, that's where the energy comes from. So when you first start this kind of casting, I'd suggest, and when I'm teaching somebody, I do this exact program. I want to be on still water, such as a lake or a pond, particularly on still water, because the first cast we teach you is nothing more than a switch cast, just a back and forth cast with no change in direction option. That's how you learn this. That switch cast, where you come up and around and go, embodies all the other casts that we're going to do, such as C-spays, snap T's, double spey, single spays. There's all kinds of casts that we can add into this, but for the time being, when you first begin, just learn the switch cast. The reason I said go on calm water is because if you're on a river and you cast out here and now it floats down there, how are you going to get it from down there back out here so you can make another cast? You got to know now. You got to know how to do a double spey or a snap T or whatever. So my point is, learn on still water. Once you kind of get the idea of it, then move to moving water, because now you're able to look at it and go, oh yeah, now I got to do a C-spey or I got to do a double spey. So that'll be our next series. Is we'll do the different casts, but for the time being, all you want to learn is a switch cast. Right there. You know, there's all kinds of casts you'll learn to change directions. Go back the other way. You can bring the line back and stop like this, drop the line in the water, come around, make the cast. There's all kinds of casts you'll learn. That's what's fun about it. You know, it's not a one-dimensional kind of thing. But there's less components to this kind of casting than there is a single-handed rod. There's nothing to this cast. It just wants to go. Well, it's pretty obvious we're not going to cast today. If you look out here, it's all ice, and so I guess our casting season's come to an end. But you know, I'm glad you tuned in. I hope it's been some help. Stick with it and stay tuned. We're going to be doing some more here in the future. So.